Hi, I'm Ann Lewis, and I'm here at GDC with David Therriault, Team Lead Programmer at Ubisoft Montreal. David, how long have you been with Ubisoft?
It's been almost 8 years now.
And what programs have you worked on?
I started as an intern on Splinter Cell Conviction way back right after university, and after that I started working on Watch Dogs.
You're gonna come with me to Chicago.
What are some of the challenges of being a programmer on a systemic open world game?
The biggest challenge is that because it's systemic, like almost anything can happen in these kind of games, so you have to think really more when you're programming your systems to make them interact with each other, to try to create more emergent scenarios for the player, so it's not expectable in some ways. So that way you want to surprise the player in the end. And it's really difficult to create a nice surprise like all the time in these open worlds, and because there's a lot of things to manage at the same time, it's really hard for the programmer to achieve this.
So how would you say your role as a programmer has evolved since you started at Ubisoft?
Actually, when I started, I didn't know like anything about games actually, and then I learned things through, and I grew into the animation specialization, and then I realized that I was ready to like team lead some programmers and drive them to make awesome things in our games. It just appeared because I was super passionate about things, and like things were just presenting themselves, and I took the opportunities.
And what's it like being a programmer at Ubisoft Montreal?
It's super cool actually. You have to share with a lot of people because teams are pretty big and there's a lot of diversity in people and a lot of diversity of talents. So you can exchange a lot of ideas with a lot of people, not only with programmers. This is one thing that is really nice, that with the open space area that we have, every time you hear a super nice idea, you can jump into any conversation that you want, as long as you're like a little bit gamer and a little bit into making like super awesome experiences for the player, you're going to be satisfied in there.
And at Ubisoft, we work with teams all around the world. Has that been easy for you to figure out, or is that kind of something that is a little bit more difficult?
Well, it always needs like some kind of adjustments, but in the end it's not that bad. Again, I think the more diversity you have, the more like varied inputs you're going to have, so the better ideas you're going to be able to generate. Sometimes, yeah, the distance is going to make it harder because the time is not going to be the same, but exchanging with people that have various cultures or different point of views on a lot of stuff really brings some things that you didn't anticipate before.
What are some of the challenges of being a programmer?
It's really easy for a programmer to be really pragmatic, but since making a game, it's a bit like making a movie or making a bit of a piece of art, the pragmatic aspect of being a programmer is not really useful in there, so you have to trust a bit your instincts, and you have to make calls or decisions on how it's going to be made to try to achieve what you're going to have to do. So things may evolve or iterate in ways that you didn't expect, because sometime with the creative process we have, it's going to end up to something different.
Great, thank you so much for talking to us.
No problem.